People of color have been known to be treated differently in the healthcare setting. My name is Lisa Durham, and today I'm going to explain to you the health disparities that exist in the African American community. Now, you may wonder, what is a health disparity? Well, a health disparity is when an individual of color is treated differently to receive optimal care in a healthcare setting. Um, One way would be if a lady showed up in the ER and she was pregnant, but she didn't receive the same treatment as some other lady that was pregnant. And this has actually happened to an African American lady in the news lately, and she actually ended up passing away because her pregnancy was not taken seriously when she arrived at the ER. Some of the ways to prevent health disparities would be to offer more health care for other nationalities, races, what have you, to make everything just equal for everyone. Um, and you may wonder, well, why does this matter? Well, health disparities matter because, for one, everyone should be treated equally, and two, it affects everyone, the hospitals, everyone that are trying to give care. When you have an individual or a company that is against a certain race, it affects the entire entity. So a couple of the ways, as I previously discussed, would be to broaden healthcare coverage. A lot of people are turned around, people of color especially, if they don't have healthcare coverage. And this is something that could be prevented. I do believe that everyone deserves optimal care, regardless of color, nationality, religion, whether you have insurance or not. Like, if you are in a life or death situation, you should be treated like you could lose your life, because that could potentially happen. So you know that health disparities exist. And the health disparities between common races, black and white, run very deep. A lot of blacks have been diagnosed with cancer, high blood pressure, and they're not really taken seriously. A lot of them are being told that, a lot of them are being told that they are facing these health conditions because of their diet. Well, yes and no. Sometimes some certain health conditions can be inherited, and that's something that you can't help. So for a healthcare professional to tell you, like, hey, you have high blood pressure because you eat too much salt, like, but then your mother and your grandmother and everyone, so on and so forth, in your family and the generations have had high blood pressure, so it may or may not be your fault. Now, eating a lot of salt could potentially be contributing to the cause, but that may not be the root cause of why you have the health condition itself. So while you know that, like I said, the health disparities exist, it's everyone's job to contribute to make a difference in this. It's the nurses, the doctors, the insurance companies. Everyone has to contribute and pitch into this big bowl so that we don't get in a situation where we have people being treated differently when their lives are at risk. And one of the main ways, I would say, is that if you are working in a healthcare setting, make sure that you, your coworker, everyone in your facility is being treated equally. Like, you can use your voice to make sure that everyone is doing what they're supposed to do and that no one is being treated differently, whether they're black, blue, or orange. Like, just make sure that that is part of your daily routine and that it's just important as your job itself. The CDC has done several articles on health disparities and research, and the differences, I think, was about 60% between the whites and blacks on when someone white arrives at the hospital and when someone black arrives at the hospital. I've actually been a victim of health disparities myself. I was actually diagnosed with epilepsy at the age of 3. In middle school, I actually had a seizure at school, and one of the guidance counselor instantly diagnosed that I was having a panic attack. Um, and I wasn't having a panic attack; I was having a seizure. I was on medication for the seizure and everything, and I was going to see a neurologist every 2 weeks. Anyways, long story short, she misdiagnosed me, which that was not her job title to do anyways. And so she told the ambulance driver when they arrived to the middle school that I had a panic attack. And so they took that information, and everyone in the school thought that I had a panic attack when meanwhile I was diagnosed with epilepsy and I had a seizure. So we just have to be mindful of the way that things are going. And I do believe that had I been another race, it would have been taken a little bit more seriously. A lot of things get overlooked when you are a person of color. I've learned that in my experience. Um, so, yeah, just be mindful and make sure that you're not treating anyone different. And let's make sure that we are not treating anyone poorly in the healthcare industry that could result in a health disparity. Thank you.